Hello everyone. Today we are going to complete the question answer and exercise part of chapter number 1, the last lesson of Flamingo. We have already done the chapter in class, so we are going to complete the exercise part, and a little homework is also there. So listen to the explanation of all the questions very carefully. Try to understand. I know the language can be a bit critical or difficult for you, but try to understand the language, okay, and learn that. Listen to the explanation again and again. Try to make the sentence in your language, okay. I'm not telling you whatever the answer I am giving you, you are going to write in your notebook. Just try to understand the answer and you can write the answer yourself in your way, okay, and later on we can discuss. So ahead in here. Now we start with the expression that came in the beginning of the lesson. We already discussed in the class. Here again I am telling you those expressions. So notice these expression in the text, infer their meaning from the context. Okay. In great dread of. What is the meaning of this expression? Means fearful in anticipation of something. Now anticipation is called prediction. When you are foretelling something, when you are saying something that is going to happen in the future, okay, so whatever is going to happen, so you are fearful about that, so this is called in great dread of. Next is counted on, that is going to be rely or trust on someone. Then thumped at the edges, that is mean worn or soiled edges caused by frequent handling. Means whenever you are handling a thing again and again, then the edges of that thing became rough, not smooth. So that is called thumped at the edges. In unison, something happening or being done at the same time, okay. So unison is called when so many persons are there and they are doing the same thing at the same time. Next is a great bustle, an excited activity or a rapid active commotion. Okay, a commotion is called somebody is going here and there, up and down, means a crowded, noisy area. Okay, now reproach ourselves with, to express disapproval, criticism, or disappointment. Means if you are showing your disapproval, you are not consent about that, you are not agree on something, that is called reproach ourselves with. Okay, now we are starting with the questions. What was Franz expected to be prepared with for school that day? Now, this is talking about the day on the last day when Mr. M. Hamill was going to take his last class. So, answer is that day Friends was expected to be prepared with the lesson on participles. This answer I am sure you all are be very confident about this answer. Question number 2. What did friends notice that was unusual about the school that day? Means some unusual things is going to happen that day in the school. So we have to tell all those unusual things. So answer is that day friends noticed the absence of the routine commotion caused by the opening and closing of desk. So now first commotion, first unusual thing was, means every time when he enter school, so many opening and closing the desk, keeping the bags, preparing their class, these type of sounds came, but the sound was not there. Then repeating of lessons in unison and rapping of the teacher's ruler on the table. So another sound is repeating, means whatever the teacher is teaching the lessons, all the students is going to repeat that in a same voice, and the teacher is going to tap his ruler, okay, iron ruler on the table. So many sounds used to be listened to them, but on that day these sounds maybe disappear. The usual hustle bustle was replaced by a strange stillness that was the characteristic of a school on a Sunday morning. And every in each and every area of the school in the morning there is a type of a crowded noisy type of things going here and there, anybody going left, anybody going right, up and down, here and there. But that day the school was looking like a Sunday morning, means a holiday. Question number 3. What had been put up on the bulletin board? Now there is a big bulletin board kept in the community hall. So what was written on that? Answer is the bulletin board notified the general public about an order from Berlin. So there was an order from Berlin. Berlin is the capital area of Germany. It stated that only German was to be taught to the student in the schools of Alsace and Lorraine. Now, Alsace and Lorraine are the state of France, okay, but from now onwards, as German get the victory over France, so from now onwards they just take French out of the school of France, and they want that German should be taught in the school. So this the news was, this is the news that was put on the bulletin board. Question number 4. What changes did the order from Berlin cause in school that day? So when this news came, so what was the changes in school? Okay, so we have to talk about the changes. The order from Berlin brought all the routine hustle bustle of the school life to a standstill. A standstill means peacefully. Okay, so whatever the usually we are going to have the crowded and noisy morning in the school, but that day the school was very peace, having very peace. The teacher M. Hamill became more sympathetic to his student and taught his lesson with more patience. Means M. Hamill was happened to be a very rude and type of cruel teacher, but that day he was very sympathetic teacher, very kind teacher, and he was taking the lessons with a patience. The students become more attentive in their class. All the students are listening very carefully to him. The villagers who were sitting at the usually empty back benches and had come to show their respect and gratitude to M. Hamill. Now some of the elderly persons of and villagers of that state, they came and sat down at the back benches of the class, because they just want to show their respect and gratitude. Gratitude is called feeling of being grateful, means the type of educational, if the villagers, because they were illiterate or less literate, so whenever they are having some type of educational problem, they do come to M. Hamill, because M. Hamill is used to live in the school premises only. He has his apartment there only, so any villagers can come him and take the advantage or take that opinion of M. Hamill. That's why all the villagers or elder person of that state too sitting at the back benches of the class regretted not going to school more than they did. Now who was regretting? Regretting is called feeling very sad. If you are not able to do something and in future you are thinking, if we would have done that thing, then how better it was be. So means all the villagers, all the elderly person, they are feeling very sad, why they not gone to school. The order also brought about a great change in the feeling of the people towards their country and their native language. Okay, now when the order comes to from very next day German is going to be taught, so itself now again suddenly the type of country or patriotism feeling and the respect towards their language arouse in each and every heart. There was a general sadness about not being able to utilize the opportunities of learning French when it was easily accessible. So at one side everybody is feeling respect, okay, towards their country and towards their language, because now it is going out from their country, and at other side they are feeling very sad, they are feeling very pathetic and very regret why they are not going to learn this language in their childhood. Okay, they must got the opportunity of learning the French, but so many people are illiterate and they don't know how to read and write in French. Next question. How did French feeling about M. Hamill and school change? Now, in this question, the feeling of friends about M. Hamill is going to be asked. Answer is friends was shocked when M. Hamill told the student about the order from Berlin. Means when friends enter school, he was unaware about the order, which type of order is this, but after coming school, when Berlin order is told by M. Hamill to friends, then he became shocked. and that was their last French lesson, that he is going to teach the last lesson today. He forgot about his teacher's ruler and crankiness. Crankiness is just like a crudeness or a type of forced thing or dictatorship thing, like you don't like, student generally don't like that. So he forgot means who forgot? Friends forgot all type of crudeness of M. Hamel. He developed a fondness for M. Hamel at the troubling idea of being separated from him forever. Instead, what French is feeling now, French is feeling now, he is not going to see M. Hamel from tomorrow. He is going to be taught by M. Hamel today, and that will be his last class. He understood the pain and agony his teacher was undergoing. Now, friends can feel the same feeling. Or whatever the feeling M. Hamel is going through. Agony is type of sadness. The sadness through which M. Hamel was going, the same sadness French was feeling, and he became more sympathetic towards his teacher. Now, as M. Hamel was sympathetic toward the student that day, and same French was having a sympathy for M. Hamel that he generally not having. Continuing the same answer, his school too now carried a different meaning, means for him now school having different meaning. His books and lessons seemed old friends whom he couldn't give up. Now, just before this day, Franz is not going to like his books, but nowadays his books seemed him like his old friend that he cannot give up or that he cannot leave. He realized with pain how much French meant to him. Now he is going to realize that French was very important to be learned, and regret not being attentive in his classes earlier. Now French is feeling very sad why he didn't attend all the French classes. Suddenly he felt that the difficult concept had never actually been difficult. Now today he was very attentive, French was very attentive in the class, so all the difficult concept, whatever is being taught by Miss M. Hamel, he is going to understand very easily. Now, next question. The people in this story suddenly realize how precious their language is to them. What shows you this? Why does this happen? Now, suddenly, when the order has come from Berlin, after this order, everybody, whatever the elder person of the state or villagers of the state or the student of the class, they all suddenly start feeling a type of respect towards their language. Why? Answer is the crowd surrounding the bulletin board, the presence of the villagers in the class, means these are some reasons. These are some type of condition which is depicting what type of feeling they are having towards their language. So besides the bulletin board, the big bulletin board was there in the community hall, and that was crowded, means so many people were standing there. The presence of the villager in the class means all the villagers, all the elder person was his presence in the class, in the school. The silence in place of the routine hustle and bustle of the school means that day, the last day of the school, when French is to be taught for last time, the school was looking like Sunday morning, like a holiday. The emotion that gripped M. Hamel and friends means both M. Hamel and friends and all other members, they all were very emotional, representing that of the teacher and the student community respectively. Means they are just showing respect towards their teacher, towards the student, means everybody was showing respect towards their community and towards their language, were all indicators of realization of the importance of their language to them. Now all these reasons that we discussed, they are just proving that everyone, whether it's a state person, elder person, a student or a teacher, everybody is going to start now showing respect towards their country language. In the story, M. Hamel says that people realize the importance of somebody or something in their lives very often when it is lost to them. Now, see, student, it is a fact. It is a real fact, and you, I suppose, you also adopt this fact. Means if you are owning something, if you are having something, just try to realize the importance of that thing. Okay, don't neglect that thing. But what a person usually do, they start respecting that thing when they lost that thing. Okay, similarly, it was the order from Berlin that made people realize the importance of their language for them. So the same thing happened in this chapter. Means everybody is not going to show the respect, the type of patriotic gratitude towards their language that should be given. But after the order that came from Berlin, everybody start learning the importance of their country language. Now moving towards next question. Friends thinks, will they make them sing in German, even the pigeons? What could this mean? Now everywhere it is a type of feeling that French is going and German is now coming. So French was thinking, we are going to be taught in German, but else if they are going to teach the pigeons and to birds also in German, they start will sing in German. Now, answer. Language is inherent to culture and identity. Now, inherent is called passing from generation to generation. Okay. So, language is a type of thing that passed from generation to generation, and it is in their culture and it is the identity of the people. The people are known by their language. The authority of human beings is restricted only to false boundaries that can be controlled. Okay. Authority is called when you are showing your dictatorship, when you are showing your kingship. Okay, when you are showing your kingship, that restrict is called to curb or to limit. Okay, but that boundary is false boundary and that should be controlled. Means when anybody is showing the restriction, the limits or the kingship, that should be controlled, because these type of boundaries are false boundaries that cannot bound a human being. Nature and other things cannot be governed by some superficial laws of the willful people. Now, nature and other things means whatever is natural, that is present in nature, you cannot stop that, you cannot make rules against that. Now, superficial is something that is not important, and willful is called the people, that is deliberate people, means show off people that are not real, the fake people are there. Okay, so if you are making some of the rules that are not very important and that is not showing respect towards something, and that is done by the people that are fake people, means the personality of those people is not real. Okay, so this type of thing cannot be governed because it is not present in the nature. By taking the reference of making the pigeons learn German, the author is pointing to this very constraint. Means now we can see this thing in the point of view of pigeon. Now pigeon, the birds, you cannot make the birds to learn German or French. The pigeons, they are having their natural habit as they are singing, whether they live in France, whether they live in German, but naturally they are trained to speak in their language. Okay, so indigenous or the nativeness or the patriotism or the countrymanship, that all thing come in the human being, not in the birds. You cannot restrain, you cannot limit the natural thing, you cannot limit the birds, you cannot limit the plantation, you cannot limit the trees and flowers. Only the restriction can be made on human and by human. So this can be one answer of this question, and another answer can be, this sentence could possibly mean that however had the authorities tried to embed German language in the culture of Alsace and Lorraine, means it is saying, okay, if the order has come from Berlin that German is going to be taught, then only humans, only the estate people of Alsace and Lorraine are bound to inherit or to follow this rule, but the natural status of French for them will remain unchanged. Natural status means you cannot change, you cannot make the rules on birds, on animals, on flowers, on trees to speak or to change their habit. As the country, or means if the king is changed of the country, the countrymen are bound because they are following the rules of the king. But birds and animals, they are not bound. They are naturally free in the environment. They are not bound in any type of rule. So we cannot make pigeons to speak in German. French flows in the air and the entire place is imbued with its effect. Now, imbued is called infused or full. Okay. So, French, if French is there in France, in France means French is the country language of the France. Okay, so it is infused, it is full, all the environment is full with the country language. Even though they train students in German, the basic mode of communication would remain unchanged, like the cooing of the pigeon. Okay, we are going to be taught in German, but at your home, after going back to school, no king, no government is coming to your home to see in which language you are talking to your parents, in which language you are talking to your mother, which type of conversation, the language you are using in your daily conversation. They are not coming and checking you. You can bound us just for the formality, for the professional or for the schooling purpose, but not everywhere. But so the root language will always be French. Next question is, what happens to a linguistic minority in the state? How do you think they can keep their language alive? Now let me clear you the linguistic minority. Linguistic is something related with the literacy, that is language, and minority means the population of the people. Like if we are living in Gujarat, then Gujarati, obviously the more and more Gujarati will be there, and less Maharashtrian will be there. So this is called minority. Okay, when the population of a special caste of the people is minimum, that is called linguistic minority. And linguistic minority means if the population of suppose like in Gujarat, Maharashtrian are less and Gujaratis are in great number. So Maharashtrian speak whatever the language is spoken by Maharashtra, that will be called linguistic minorities. Okay, so for example, in question it is given like Punjabis in Bangalore. If Punjabi is living in Bangalore, Tamilians in Mumbai, if Tamil people are living in Mumbai, Kannadians in Delhi, if Kannadic people are living in Delhi, and Gujaratis in Kolkata, and Gujarati people living in Kolkata, then how they keep their language alive? So answer is, a linguistic minority in a state does not have as much liberty to exercise linguistic skills as the natives of the state. Obviously, if you are living in other state and you are basically from other state, so you cannot keep your language higher than that state. Okay, they initially try to learn the jargons in order to cope up with day-to-day life activities, and finally begin to understand the native language with regular intersection. Now jargons are called a spatial word. Okay, and interaction is called means conversation from in between two peoples. Like if Punjabis are living in Bangalore, then Punjabi must have to learn some of the Bengali, some of the language that is spoken in the Bangalore to survive there. Okay, means they have to live there, they have to deal with the people every day, they have to converse with different type of people every day, so they must learn a type of spatial words that allow them to live in other state. At the workplace and educational organization, English or the link language helps a lot to cope up with the work and learning process. But in all the state, the English is used as a link language. Now link language is something that combined one language to another. Means if two peoples are there, two communities are there, one community is speaking their language and another community is speaking their language, but if means they are unaware about their language, their native language, but if the both communities knows English, then English will be a link language for them, and this helps a lot in the process, in the living process, in the organization, in the school. It means everywhere. English just act like a link language. But when it comes to understanding the basic norms of the society, in order to socialize, one does face a sort of linguistic barriers during communication. But if you are uh, attending some social organization, some social celebration is there, some caste related, caste based celebration is there, community based celebration is there, where English is not allowed, and you are living in that area but you are not belonging to that state, means whatever the language is spoken by them, you are not having that language as your native language, then you have to feel, then you have to go through a type of problem of linguistic barrier. Linguistic barrier is called when you are not able to understand the language of the state in which you are living. Why? Because that language is not your native language. To keep their language alive, the linguistic minorities can form small communities where they can celebrate their festivals as per their tradition. Now, in first paragraph, we have talked about which type of problems the other state people are going to face when they are living in another state. And now, in this paragraph, we are just going to discuss how they can live comfortably, how they can enhance, how they can give a higher place to their language. Means they can celebrate, they can just organize a type of community, small type of organization can be organized, small types of festival, they can just celebrate the festivals. Means if you are just celebrating the festival, you are just going to celebrate them in traditional way, in social manner, in your language, not in English. They can continue, moreover they can continue to speak their native language at their homes in order to make their children learn the language. So they can keep their language alive by more and more conversation among their families, among their native, among their well-known persons at the different place. People must even try to visit their native place at regular intervals in order to stay close to their roots. So if you are belonging to other states, so it doesn't mean you are not going at all to your home because you are having you no time, you are so busy. But no, like this you will be every day, you are going very far with your language. So to keep your language alive, to keep connected yourself with your language, to keep connected your children with your language, the frequent going and coming to your state is very essential. Now, maybe it's a last question. It is possible to carry pride in one's language too far. Do you know that linguistic chauvinism means? Now, we have to talk about the linguistic chauvinism. Now, what is linguistic chauvinism? Yes, it is possible to carry pride in one language too far if one is fond of one's own language at the cost of other. Means linguistic chauvinism means when you are confident to keep on your language even if you are living in the other state. Indifference towards other language is not healthy for any democracy like India. Indifference means if you are not showing the same respect to other language as the respect you are giving to your own language. If you are not giving the respect to other language, then democratic environment cannot be possible in India, because that's why we are calling democratic, because all the people, all the other state people, when they are going and live in other state, they are giving the same respect to the other language as they are giving to their. When the sense of belonging to one's own language crosses the thin line between pride and proud, it becomes linguistic chauvinism. Means if you are having proud, okay, if you are feeling proud on your language, but in the place where you are living, okay, the place which gives you profession, which gives you a type of work, which gives you shelter to live, if you are respecting that place also, that the language of that place also, that is called linguistic chauvinism. Means you are giving respect to your own language also, you are feeling proud on or your language also, and you are feeling a type of proud on your workplace nice language also. If people feel good about their language and tradition, they must have tolerance for other language too. Obviously, if you cannot respect your own language, how can you respect the other language? So this is very much essential to have respect towards your language, towards your tradition. Only then you are going to have the tolerance to respect the other language also. Everybody has the right to follow the religion as well as speak the language as per his or her desire. Means, see, if we are respecting the language, then this is not necessary whatever the exactly it is written in the holy books or in the legal book, you have to speak like that. No, a simple man, a common man is not forced. Means he is going to show the respect, but he can take the language according to their way. If they are showing respect, they will take their respect. But if they are forced under the conversation, they are not going to respect. Okay, so everybody is free to use the language as they want. In fact, it is disappearing to distort the name of communities. Now, disparaging is called insulting. Okay, and distort means to change the shape or sound. Okay, so sometime it happens if you are not feeling very comfortable in speaking some words or speaking or just obtaining or adopting a type of language, then you convert that language according to your way, because you are not feeling well. Like some can speak very fluent in English, some can, but they some cannot speak very fluent in English, but they have to speak. Then how they can speak? So they will take the type of comfortability, the type of alteration, and convert English to speak according to their own way. So disparaging is but this is called a type of insult. Means if you are not obeying the proper way of speaking a particular language and you are just making alteration and just turn and want that language, means a type of insulting type of thing. Means you are just changing the shape of that thing. For example, like bongs for Bengalis and gujus for Gujaratis, means there is a particular word for Bengalis, but some are saying Bengalis instead of bongs. What is bongs? And Gujarati, the particular word for, the people who lives in Gujarat is Gujarati, but some are saying gujus. So like this, they are just turning and warning and changing the shape of the language. So it is a type of insulting thing for the language that should not be there. So here till here we completed all the question answers and the other part. Now some homework is for you. Now the question is, read the sentence, M. Hamel had said that he would question us on participle. Now see, this is one sentence taken from the chapter. Now in the sentence above, the verb from had said in the first part is used to indicate an earlier past, and the whole story is narrated in the past. M. Hamill's saying happened earlier than the events in the story. This form of verb is called past perfect. Now, what is the question? Exact question. Pick out 5 sentences from the story with this form of verb and say why this form has been used. Now, I make you understand what you need to do. Means this is the sentence, M. Hamill had said that he would question on a participle. So here the verb is used had said. Now this is simply past perfect tense. Okay, so simply you have to just find out the 5 sentences out of the chapter that have been used the verb as past perfect tense, where had and verb third form. Now for your convenience, I will give a little bit of hint to you. In the following, now answer, in the following sentence, 2 activities of past occurring at 2 different points of the time in the past are indicated. One that happens earlier takes had plus past form of the verb is third, and while the word that follows takes simple past form of the verb second. Means if we are using past indefinite tense, then simply second form of the verb will come. But if we are using earlier past is also called past perfect tense, then we have to use had plus third form of the verb. So you have to find out 5 sentences from the chapter that have been used in past perfect tense, and you have to write down in your notebook. Now, another homework exercise is notice the underlined words in these sentences and tick the option that best explain their meaning. Okay, so some of the words are written and you have to find out the meaning. I have already discussed this in the class and told you the answer. Now, go through the words, find out the nearest meaning of that word and complete the exercise in your notebooks. So for today we have discussed all the question answer, given the homework. Now you all are supposed to complete all the question answers in your notebook, complete your homework, thoroughly learn all the answers. If you are not comfortable in learning these answers, try to understand the text and write the answers in your language. Okay, so that's it for today. We'll meet again.